Hello and welcome to the instructional use and advantages of web analytics, presented by Couch's Internet Marketing Consulting Firm Incorporated. Today, we'll be utilizing Clicky Web Analytics. So what is web analytics and how can we use it? Web analytics is simply taking a website and breaking down your visitors into groups to see how they view and interact with your site. So why is this important? Well, understanding your audience is key in any business strategy, whether a brick and mortar store or an online blog site. With web analytics, we can see how viewers interact, view, click, and guide their way through your own sites. Think of it like a GPS to see how many viewers click on videos, advertisements, affiliate networks, or simply return to your site. So where do we find these tools? Well, there are various forms of software and websites that allow you to track and view your web analytics. But today we are going to be looking at utilizing a site called Clicky Web Analytics. This site is great for breaking down users and seeing exactly who is looking at your site. This site is great for breaking down users, seeing exactly who is looking at your site and where they're located, which browser and operating software they might be using as well. We can also see who their internet service provider is, along with exactly how long they have been on your site and how many actions they have performed. Clicky Breakdown. Clicky is conveniently broken down into 7 sections: Dashboard, Visitors, Platforms, Local, Spy, Big Screen, and Preferences. These are the main sections for this free software that we will be talking about today. Each section breaks down the viewer's experience and allows for us to track their performance with our site. With each section, it allows us to gather more specific information that is needed to answer certain questions like, how can I increase average site time? Or, how is my bounce rate percentage? These questions can be answered and measured by simply finding each appropriate specific route. So let's look at each section and what it has to offer. The Dashboard tab. Dashboard is a general overview of your site's analytics. This covers visitors, actions, average actions, total time, average time per visit, bounce rate, traffic sources, local searches, links, and graph that represents the current activity. The Visitors tab. Visitors details the time the user visited, country of origin, internet service provider or ISP, number of actions, IP address, time spent on site, location, platform, and previous visits from the user within the last 7 days. They also place a pin inside of the controllable Google Map. This allows for further visitor breakdown and tracking. The Platforms tab. This simply gives the number of visitors using different specific types of browsers. Plain and simple. Local tab. Local breaks down visitors from country and then breaks down how many visitors, unique visitors, actions, average actions, total time, average time spent per visit, and bounce rate for each. The Spy tab. This is definitely one of my favorites. Spy gives us the ability to see what are the most frequented pages, links, or articles that users are clicking on. This also gives the date and time, IP address, and country and platform, network, and the page that they are visiting. This is very specific and gives us a great overview of which users are clicking on which links and pages. This will definitely give you a great overview of how specific viewers look at your content. The Big Screen tab. Big Screen is Simply a big screen. It just gives a full screen version of the dashboard page that is represented a little more visually. And finally, we have the Preferences tab that allows you to adjust which websites and servers you want to analyze. You simply copy the HTML doc onto your website, and it allows Clicky to track your site very effectively. So now that we understand the site, let's look at how we can use this and what kind of questions we can answer about our website. So let's look at a couple questions that every website and business owner might want answered. I've chosen 3 questions. They are: do people like my site? Where should I market my site? And what are people doing on my site? Here's our answers. Do people like my site? This answer can be found by simply looking up your reoccurring visitors under the Spy tab. This can then be dissected by seeing how much time viewers are spending on the website upon each visit. Is their time gradually increasing? Are they making purchases? Or are they interacting with the social networking? We can find all of this under the Spy tab by seeing how each returning user is spending their time and interacting with our site. Where should I market my site? This answer can be found by looking at the Dashboard tab. Specifically, we can see how viewers are directed to our sites by checking out the Traffic Sources section under the dashboard. This will give us the needed information to see the traffic source that directed them to our site, whether it was direct or from a different site or advertisement. This will give us the needed information so that we can focus advertisements and linking in specific places to increase sales where many are visiting. Essentially, market where your viewers live. And finally, what are people doing on my site? This is a very common question. This answer can be found under the Visitors tab. This can then be dissected and analyzed by the user's internet service provider and IP address, as well as country, location, and platform of what they use to get to your site. We can then break down the viewer's actions once we know who they are. We can then break down their actions and clicking on each page, and how long they spent on each page, and what actions were performed during this time. This essentially breaks down exactly what the user was doing and how long they did it for on the site, and how many actions were performed during all of this. In the end, web analytics can answer many questions that you, as a website owner, might have. By joining with Couch's Internet Marketing Consulting Firm Incorporated, we can ensure that you have all your website questions answered, or have all the information so that we can perform the necessary test and gather the information that you need. On behalf of Couch's Internet Marketing Consulting Firm Incorporated, we would like to thank you for your consideration of web analytics. Here are a couple citations that we used throughout the process. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of the day.